What is up, YouTube? Leviathan Kraken here, and we have our next dev vlog that has just dropped here. Danya has posted this on Discord. She said, this time we're showing a little more of the behind the scenes of what goes on into building out of the world of Subnautica 2. And she names several of the team members here. But this is where it gets really exciting. She says, also, we're excited to launch our new public NOLT.io. Now, that's not really a website I've been to, but it's a Subnautica2.NOLT.io. So this is like a message, some sort of message board. Let's click on this real quick. Okay, so this is where you can actually, okay, so I see how it works. Yeah, it's like a message board, but you can actually make a suggestion of what you would like to see in Subnautica 2. Now, I think this is just an amazing privilege that the team has given us to actually submit our own ideas, and then they will take them into consideration. Isn't that amazing? This is such a great team. I just love what they're doing here. So yeah, check this website out right here, and you can, if you have a specific idea in your mind, all you have to do is just post it on there and they will read it. So anyways, we have us a video that they released today, so let's go ahead and get into it.
Hello, I am Seth, Senior Narrative Designer on Subnautica 2, a sequel to the events of Subnautica, Subnautica Below Zero, and Natural Selection. For the last 3 years, it has been my privilege to help build our new world.
So, if I'm hearing this correctly, it sounds like they actually started Subnautica 2 like 3 years ago, like from the concept until where they're at now.
Of constant change, where the sea is alive and hungry, the rules of evolution are different, and alien DNA seeps into your bones.
Yeah, so that's one thing I wanted to talk about. Like, that's actually something we've heard before. You will actually be able to get these alien DNA and be able to evolve and to adapt to the, well, not 4546b, but I almost said that, but the planet that you're going to be on, you'll be able to actually evolve your character. This should be interesting.
You might be the last human being in the universe, or the first member of something new.
Okay, and that brings up another good point. The last human in the universe? What are you talking? Okay, that doesn't make any sense because there are Altera logos that I remember seeing in some of the trailers. But I mean, at the same time, and this brings up a good question here. Now, I haven't played Natural Selection, but I do know that Subnautica 1 takes place before Natural Selection, and that's when the Kra just now gets introduced. So, if Natural Selection, a whole bunch of people die, I'm going to have to go in and I'm going to have to read the whole storyline. But if Subnautica 2 takes place after Natural Selection, then we might actually be seeing a timeline where a majority of the human race has actually died off, which is kind of sad.
Speaking of universes, here is one of our world builders.
Hi, I'm Artyom, a level designer here at Unknown Worlds helping create the world of Subnautica 2. And just like the previous two games, Subnautica 2 is entirely handcrafted. Our first step is to create a paper design, after which we use primitive shapes like blocks and cylinders to create a block out of the area. We make sure scale, depth, and progression all feel good. After which, we work with environment artists to create an asset kit. Rocks, plants, and anything we can use to set dress is made. We then refine the area before handing it off to other departments. One challenge we faced in Subnautica 2 was asset seams, and that's because we chose not to use voxels in Subnautica 2 like the predecessors.
Okay, so this asset seams that he's talking about is basically like you're seeing lines that aren't quite lining up in the terrain, and that's not good. You're not wanting to see that. So, and then another thing that he mentioned was voxel terrain. So voxel terrain is something that Subnautica 1 used, and kind of think of it like Minecraft. You have a grid of terrain, and it's basically divided in cubes, like in sections, and each cube could represent a different type of terrain based on what biome it is. So kind of like Minecraft, kind of not.
That's when we came across Tor, a community member who made a plugin called Mesh Blend. It's a post-processing effect which blends pixels along asset seams based on a preset blend size. It's not native to Unreal and something we're super excited to debut. Thank you so much, and I can't wait until you swim through our world.
Okay, so this, I was doing some research, and this plugin that he's talking about, what it's going to do is when the game starts up, it kind of smooths out the visual seams automatically. So instead of fixing and smoothing out each individual terrain mesh or asset, which could take a lot of time, this pretty much just kind of automatically smooths it out. That's how it works.
Hey, I'm James Stout, environment artist on Subnautica 2. I'll give
this
a
is where
quick
we get
demo
to see
on how
a
we
new
create
creature.
parts of the world. We use a mixture of hand-sculpted and procedural workflows to create larger, complex assets. Here, I'm generating a juvenile variant of a larger organism you'll find in the world. This younger version is more squat than its mature siblings, so I'm using a procedural system we created in Blender to shorten the length of its tendrils. I pack a bunch of technical data into the model's vertex color channels. This technique helps us keep texture memory costs very low, even on a large asset. Tricks like this help us keep the game running smooth on a wide range of hardware. After getting this creature into the engine, I'm moving over to working on biome terrain sculpting with a focus on naturalism. The world needs to feel like a world, and less like a diorama made for a player. It's a tricky balance. We take a lot of our cues from Subnautica 1, where naturalism and gentle player direction are well tuned against each other. Finally, to bridge the difference in scale between fine sand and large rocky outcrops, I use Ben Hale's rubble meshes to push a more convincing result. I love sculpting rocks, but I could never pretend to enjoy it as much as Ben.
All right, let me backtrack here for just a minute. Let me back up right here. Now, this creature, where is it at? Okay, so this creature right here, it looks like a sea anemone. It could be more like a zoanthid or a soft coral. That looks like it almost looks like it might sort of trap you in the middle, but it would definitely sting you. It would definitely probably most likely be poisonous in my opinion. Let me go back to where we were at. Okay, they're making fun of this guy because he's he's a digital environment artist that wishes he was a geologist.
Here at Unknown Worlds, I have a special interest in natural geology, or rocks. I've developed a specific pipeline for this project. I'm using a series of interlocking meshes and displacement, using a height map that I built inside of Substance Designer. Using the UVs, I'm able to offset and find details and general shapes that I find interesting. And then I'll do the final offset inside of ZBrush, which you can see here, as well as a final
ZBrush and Blender.
Using various brushes, including some custom brushes that I built myself. Using this pipeline, we can do some really crazy things. Here's the Tufa kit that I've developed for the project. And these rocks are some...
Now, I'm no expert on ZBrush. I've used a little bit of Blender, but it sounds to me like if he's doing his own custom brush, then he can go in and have it to where a swipe will set a certain list, a certain type of texture, and then he can go in and just mimic that texture as he's
I've ever
going.
made in my entire career. Our final poly count is usually around 700,000, sometimes breaking a million, but we try not to.
My computer's going to catch on fire.
You can see how detailed it can get using our custom texture pipeline.
I don't know.
Here's a demonstration
my computer can run this
of Mesh Blend, developed by Tor Lervik, and it's pretty much changed how we do everything here.
Wow.
It's just black magic. Here you can see a preview.
I mean, I just want to say real quickly that it is so wonderful that we have people on their team that are just so passionate and so dedicated just on the tiny little details. I mean, they're picking on this guy for loving rocks so much, but look at how much that's going to contribute to the game, how much better and immersive it's going to make it just from, how much detail these rocks are going to have. Look at this. This is beautiful.
Pretty much the same pipeline. Granted, it's more sculpting centric, and they're just as detailed.
Wow.
Thanks for taking a look. I hope you enjoy these rocks as much as I enjoyed
your work
creating
is
them.
amazing,
Take
man.
care.
Thanks.
And I mean, I also wanted to say their editor here, it kind of reminds me of, well, can I back up here? It kind of reminds me of the structure editor that Lee 23 made on the Subnautica 1 mods. And that's kind of you know, it's kind of gotten me interested in maybe going back to school. I would love to be like a level designer. I think that would be really cool. But I mean, I've been working on redoing Subnautica for my Coldnautica project, and I'm starting to realize just how much work these guys do. I mean, this is a lot of work to put into designing all the levels for the entire map. I mean, that's very tedious work.
Thanks for watching. Want to know more? Come join our Discord and follow our social channels. See you soon, Pioneer.
All right, well, so what do you guys think? I mean, you know, again, we have a team that is very passionate about what they're doing. They're paying so much attention to details. There is no doubt in my mind, guys. This is good, you know, and they're paying attention to what the fans want. There's no doubt in my mind this one's going to be really good. I know I love Below Zero, but I do acknowledge that it had a few faults. But in this case, they are going all out, and all I want to say to fans and to the team, we very much appreciate what you're doing. So anyways, that's all we have for now. I will keep an update out on any new videos that are released, or any news for Subnautica 2, or any major Subnautica modding news. I'm covering Subnautica mods as well. So if you'd like to keep up to date with all that, don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.